forces, high forces.
You know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for that Berserk goodness, greatness, whatever you want to call it. I'm finally back, and I don't care about that, but I want to go straight into this Berserk chapter because I am excited. Every month and all that, this is all just what I've been into. I know like the anime can only do so much to quell like how much more I want Berserk chapters and all that. It's like it's getting to me now more and ever since I've been caught up. It's like now that I want the Berserk music, just give me more Berserk content further down the road. So we're going to jump straight into it right now, going into next chapter, chapter 346. Let's go. So we got to see from this chapter, we saw Guts and Crew going through the entirety of the Elfin Forest, and my god, is it just amazing and gorgeous when they were like going around to like the big massive tree and like going where like the actual Elfin King was, and I was like, oh my god, just the sheer beauty of that. And like this, honestly, this entire like forest area, like when they see like all like kind of like the like fairies and all that, like centaurs, like all these like creatures of like wonderfulness and all that just coming out, which pretty much looked like they belonged in a Disney movie and all that. It's just like, oh my god, it was just sheer just beauty and amazing. I love that how the entirety of the game, I really appreciated like seeing like all like these areas and just like Guts like more trouble than fucking demons, I say, like that. It's just like this pouty old granddaddy sounds like going throughout all this, and even seeing like the entirety of Elfheim and all that. It's just the beauty, and the king, which we'll just like get into later on and all that, and like my god and all that, like, you know, finding about that, it's like we are finally now at this chapter in that scenario where we can finally see whether or not Casca is going to be healed or not, or whether or not that's going to be like a lie. Like we don't know what's going to be going on with that, but like there was honestly like throughout the entirety of the chapter, a lot of it was like meeting the scenarios. Just it was more of a world building chapter as it was showing you what kind of world it was. There was a lot of comedy in this chapter. Like you got to see like everyone going around and seeing like just kind of like how unique like kind of this area is. Like especially when we got to see like, you know, how light gravity is in this area. Like I believe like when the Shokugeki was saying that one of the biggest like factors into this is that the barrier ice and all that, which are minuscule like weight elements that bind the elements together, and it's like, you know, it's external to like fire, water, wind, and earth and make up the world. And it's like that's why like Ichidro and like all the other characters and all that are just able to just like jump up. And just one of the weirdest things was just like Puck meeting all of his brothers. It's like, yo Pick, what's going on? All that, oh oi Peck and all that, what's going on? Pack, like, you know, oh Puck and all that. And like, what the hell? So it's Puck, Pick, Puck, like Pack, like pick a pie and pick a pepper. Like it was just so weird. Like, and I love that like it was just some dumb stuff going on throughout the entirety of it. When you saw like they were like they was making like fucking Puck was making a deal with like one of the people on like Guts' like crew at the moment. It's like, let's have a coup d'etat, let's try and get some bounties going on for this shit like that. And then like there was just a hilarious moment where it's just like he was trying to take over the throne, saying I'm the new king now, and they try to get him for treason, and he's like tied up and he's like, let us meet in Valhalla. As he's got like the most stern like face ever. It's like we're going through and stuff. I thought it was honestly hilarious throughout all this, and like that's why I said like on the word or story wise and all that, it's like not too much was happening as that we literally met the fairy like right at the very end and all that, which, you know, which was very interesting and all that. Like I believe like the proper pronunciation is the Flower Storm King, where like finally see it, and it's actually the girl, one of the witches that they were feeling for a very long time, where it's like she finally like took off her head and just revealed like this form, which is just like this beautiful like elfin like face and all that, flowers everywhere and all that. And it's just like, we need to know and all that, can this person truly heal Casca? We don't know. She has like this massive goal and we don't know like how much damage. And this is the thing where it's like people have been waiting for decades, like years and all that, to see whether or not Casca is going to be healed. And personally, my like personal opinion, the whole thing of Casca, if she is and all that, if there is saying like I can heal her or I can do something about her, I generally think it's going to be through a split second or just for a little bit and then disappears to go back to normal. I don't think Casca is going to ever turn back into normal like at this point, but I know like this is now we're finally on the island, we're finally here teasing like the whole thing that's going to be happening with it. It's like, oh, I really want to know like what's going to be happening all that with like Kasuga, and I just cannot like wait and all that to see like what's finally going to be happening with that. But generally for like the most part and all that, it's like it was kind of like interesting in ways like when we saw like Seppuku and all that, when it was especially when he had like the cloak on, you got to see like all of like the wind spirits just come out saying like this is all that he's been associated himself and all that, and like how much trust they've got, and it was just like it honestly felt like he was in like this just beautiful, just gorgeous like fantasy world like we're going through here, where you just like this is like you get to see all the nitty gritty horrible trolls and like terrible demons, and it's like this is the side of the world where it's like you look at all this stuff, look at like all the like little fairies and pixies, and like look at all like the elves and so all this stuff here, and it's like this is the good side of like the world and all that, and the peaceful spirits and the peaceful like stuff that Guts doesn't deal with on a day-to-day basis, and it's just like you just look how parallel this is, this pure light that he's like just not used to like the darkness of the world and all that he's been dealing with, the horrible spirits and all that throughout the entirety of it. And I don't know, I thought it was very nice and all that. I thought it was a very artistically, it was a fucking 10 on 10. Like artistically, this is some of the best he's put out there. Like that and the dragon and like all the stuff that some of the best Berserk pages. I can say like some of the stuff in here is absolutely just 10 on 10 stunning. Like however though, on a story wise, literally it was them walking around associating with the world. That is kind of like leading to it and finding out about the Flower Storm King with him saying like talking to him and saying greetings and all that. So it was a little bit of like you think about it, it was just like look at the pretty art, let's associate with this area, and like everyone kind of like relaxing, kind of getting a breather for once, and like a bit of comedy in there, which it's nice to have like every now and then in Guts, like with like his party and all that in Berserk. But definitely I would say not the biggest like best chapter. I definitely did like last chapter a lot more like with Berserk and all that, but definitely I would say like this one has some praise and all that, and just mainly the output is that Miura, my god man, like your art is just, if this guy ever does an art book, if he ever has like that, just send it. Like, I need it. I need that. I'll drop my money. There you go. Give me his art books and all that. I need that. If he's going to an art gallery, I will try and find some money for it. But I think it probably felt a little bit like, okay, not too much of the destination happened since it was a very short chapter regardless and all that, which, something I had to kind of get used to Miura, but it's like, Jesus, did he put that effort into like the fucking like art and all that, because it's just stunning and just beyond just insane. But other than that, like, I really did enjoy the chapter regardless. It was nice just to have some new Berserk content. And the question is though, people, with like next month's chapter could be addressing whether or not Kasuga is going to be returning. So next month's chapter could be fucking huge, like seeing like what exactly is the answer that the Flower Storm King can exactly give to like Guts about Kasuga. So let me know you guys in the comments section now. Like, do you think Kasuga is going to finally return after this and all that? Personally, I don't think so, but if there is, I think it's going to like be for a little while and then go back to like normal. I think like at this point Kasuga might be a little bit unhealable, but at this point I think like her mind is just that gone. But if she does come back, I think I might shed a tear. Like, to come back like Kasuga after all these years, finally seeing that strong, like, badass like woman that she was and all that, that would be a fucking pleasure. But I don't know, considering like how much of the tragedy the series is a lot of the time, I generally want Guts to be here, and I want him to like shed a tear. I want Guts to like just like sit down one night and just like, if he finds out that isn't there, I want him just to like let out the first tear that he's probably let out in a very long time after all this. But it's like, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. But that's all from me. Thank you much for watching. Always here to talk about some Berserk greatness and all that. But I'll see you guys, and you beautiful bastards though, next time.